Welcome to the podcast, folks. Let's jump right in comparing BNB Chain and Ethereum. These two blockchains are kind of like two different philosophies of blockchain design.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fascinating. Ethereum coming in with that early time-tested vibe, while BNB Chain, rebranded from Binance Smart Chain, brings a fresh high-performance twist.
Right, exactly. Ethereum, birthed back in 2015 from Vitalik's idea, has become almost synonymous with smart contracts and dApps.
I follow.
Meanwhile, BNB Chain, which really took shape around 2022, is all about solving those pesky scalability issues.
And speaking of scalability, isn't it interesting how Ethereum's on its journey to ETH2 with proof of stake, but still, at times, users get hit with high gas fees?
Yeah, it's like you're waiting at the supermarket when someone else is cutting in line. The process is solid but sometimes congested. Ethereum's mature approach, with countless miners running it, creates that huge network, but that comes at a cost.
And meanwhile, BNB Chain operates on a proof of stake authority mechanism. It uses just 21 network validators selected via staking of BNB. That definitely speeds things up, right?
Exactly, it's like having a specialized crew on a well oiled machine. These validators aren't just random, they're picked from the largest active stakers each day.
Yeah, that keeps things lean, right? Right, although I've got to question that a little. Don't you think 21 validators might lean too much towards centralization? Less decentralization compared to Ethereum's huge varied miner network?
Yeah, that's a solid point. Ethereum's system, with thousands of nodes, gives it a truly decentralized backbone, whereas BNB Chain's smaller validator set could be seen as more vulnerable. But then again, it's a trade off for speed and lower fees.
Trade-offs are everywhere. Exactly. And speaking of speed, block times on BNB Chain are around 3 seconds, whereas Ethereum's block times can range from 2 to 14 seconds, depending on network congestion. That's a real eye-opener for someone in a hurry.
Definitely. And as you mentioned earlier, while Ethereum's been the go to for developers thanks to its smart contract capabilities, its scaling issues have pushed some users to migrate toward BNB Chain for its efficiency. It's kind of like choosing a fast lane on a busy highway.
Yeah, I get that. Also, the token standards are an interesting discussion point. Ethereum uses ERC20 and BNB Chain uses BEP20, which, by the way, is almost identical in its architecture. That makes the two somewhat interoperable, correct?
Yep, exactly. It's like having two languages that share a lot of grammar. It means that developers can port their dApps from Ethereum to BNB Chain with not too much hassle.
That's cool. Now, what about the validator requirements? I mean, Ethereum requires staking a minimum of 32 ETH once it fully shifts to proof of stake versus BNB Chain's requirement of 10,000 BNB. That seems very different in scale.
It is different, right? Ethereum's minimum is steep, which inherently limits who can become a validator, pushing people into staking pools if they don't meet that benchmark. For BNB Chain, while 10,000 BNB is also not trivial, the fact there are just 21 validator slots intensifies competition among stakers.
Competitive indeed. And here's a thought. Doesn't that small validator group maybe make it easier for influential players to sway decisions on the BNB chain? I mean, even if it's technically decentralized, the scale is different.
That's a valid critique. It's like having a board of directors versus a town hall meeting. In Ethereum, with its thousands of nodes, the community input is broader and arguably more democratic compared to the 21 validators on BNB Chain.
Absolutely. And that difference in governance can impact the broader trust in the chain's decentralization. Now, shifting gears a bit, what about branding? Ethereum is driven by the Ethereum Foundation, a nonprofit, while BNB Chain is tied to Binance's ecosystem, right?
Exactly. Ethereum's non commercial stance through its foundation offers a certain level of neutrality and open source philosophy. On the other hand, BNB Chain, despite not being directly controlled by Binance, still enjoys that backing, which gives it a strong ecosystem support but might also raise eyebrows for those looking for pure decentralization.
Yep, that corporate link might set off some alarms. And then there are the gas fees. Ethereum's fees, as we know, can spike during congestion, making microtransactions a sort of luxury. BNB Chain generally offers lower fees, making it more accessible for everyday transactions and small-scale dApps.
Right, that's one of the big draws for BNB Chain. Cheaper transactions without compromising on the smart contract functionality. It's like choosing economy class that's surprisingly comfortable.
And that lower cost makes it ideal for developers who are building applications where transaction speed and cost are essential factors.
Definitely. But here's a twist. In the long run, if Ethereum succeeds with ETH2's scaling improvements, many of these issues, like high gas fees and slower block times, could be mitigated. That shift to proof of stake is a massive overhaul.
Yeah, that transformation is something to watch. So it's almost like a race, right? BNB Chain is currently offering faster, cheaper transactions with its lean validator model. But Ethereum is the seasoned veteran that's evolving to potentially reclaim that performance edge.
Exactly. It's like having a sprinter competing against a marathoner. The sprinter currently wins the short race with explosive speed, while the marathoner is geared up to redefine endurance with its upcoming improvements.
That's a neat analogy. And you know, this dynamic really highlights an essential point for anyone in crypto. Choosing the right blockchain really depends on what your needs are.
Oh, absolutely. It boils down to whether you need robustness and a time-tested network, or if you value speed and lower fees for quicker transactions.
It's very much a cost-benefit analysis. Yep, and by the way, the bridging of assets between chains comes into play here too. With the Binance bridge, users can move assets between Ethereum and BNB Chain seamlessly. That interoperability is a huge plus for both ecosystems.
Right, because even if you're loyal to one chain, you might want to dip your toes in a more efficient system when the situation calls for it. Interoperability kind of makes the crypto world feel more connected.
Although I sometimes wonder if this kind of asset bridging might introduce its own layers of risk, like complexities in security protocols between chains.
That's a fair concern. Introducing bridges always comes with potential vulnerabilities, but current implementations have become quite robust with layers of security. Still, it does mean users must be mindful and updated about the risks.
Yes, staying informed is key. Absolutely. And looking ahead, privacy and scalability in the crypto world will only intensify this dialogue. With these two blockchains representing different evolutionary paths, it gives crypto enthusiasts a lot to chew on.
It sure does. And we also have to consider that the blockchain space is evolving so fast. Today, it's BNB Chain versus Ethereum, but tomorrow it could be entirely new blockchains entering the arena.
Yep, the race never stops. Exactly, and that's why continuous education and conversation in the crypto community play such a crucial role. It's like trying to keep up with the newest smartphone every year. It's both exciting and, frankly, a bit exhausting.
Haha, so true. And while debates over which blockchain is better, BNB Chain or Ethereum, are ongoing, the real winning move is having these options that push innovation forward. Innovation gains from competition, right?
Absolutely. And it's not just about performance. Each has its unique ecosystem, developer communities, and use case focuses. So the choice ultimately boils down to the specific needs and philosophies of its users.
Right. Whether you like the seasoned reliability and broad decentralization of Ethereum, or you're drawn to the streamlined efficiency of BNB Chain, both are contributing invaluable ideas to the future of decentralized tech.
Plus, as Ethereum transitions to ETH2, we might see a shakeup in performance metrics. It'll be interesting to see if BNB Chain can hold its ground or even steal the spotlight.
Definitely, it's like watching a high-stakes game where both teams are constantly evolving their strategies, and that dynamic keeps the whole ecosystem vibrant and competitive.
Yeah, keeps everyone on their toes. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into these two blockchains. It's been an engaging look at how technology, trade-offs, and vision shape the future of crypto. Thanks for a great conversation.
My pleasure. Until next time, keep questioning and exploring this ever-evolving world of blockchain.